All right, today is episode 3 of the Ls9 nightmare. We got it out of the seat and guide machine. We got all the head bolts drill tapped and counterbored. We hadn't put the inserts in yet. I'm gonna save that for after it's washed. But we got it in the surfacer. We got the BHJ fixture on, and we got it indicated in, and we found some interesting stuff. So hang loose. We're gonna bring you in here. All right, so this fixture, it centers, so we got a bar going through the mains, and we got a bore here, and all this is centered, and then we got 2 cones that go in the cam tunnel, and then there's a register that locates this plate in line with the cam crank centers. So then we have a 45, and then perpendicular, and then another 45. So we can indicate this surface in, and regardless if the deck is wrong, we can correct the decks to the crank cam center line. So it appears that whoever done this thing, they decked it. So yeah, we're gonna bring the camera in so you can see the indicator, and I'm gonna sweep this, and then we're going to sweep the deck, and we're going to see how much difference there are in the 2. All right, so that's 0, and that's 0. It might be a 1/10 under 0. So we've got this indicated in just about as good as you're going to get it. So I'm going to move the bed over so we can get on this surface, and then we're going to indicate what they done. So we 0 right there, and it's just steady climbing, and that right there is 10, that's 11 thousandths. So the deck is 11 thousandths out of parallel with the cam crank center line. So and that's, you know, I mean, on a factory block, they're usually not that bad, usually just a few thousandths, but obviously it was decked crooked. But can you see that? Can you see? Yeah, you can see the indicator. So I mean, that's sitting dead on 11 thousandths right there, and if that's 0. So we're going to correct this. We're going to deck it, and we'll blue it up so you can see, but we're going to pull it. So obviously, I mean, we're going to have to pull 10 or 12 thousandths off of it. So we'll square this side up, we'll roll it over, indicate it in, square the other side up. That way, you know, both decks are 90 degrees, 45 from center. And then we'll probably go ahead and deck the valley cover surface too, just so it's nice. But all right, we'll be right back. We're gonna get this thing set up to cut the decks, and then we'll bring you back. All right, so we put some Dicom on the deck just for a visual, but so we got it set up, and we're gonna make our first pass and just see what it looks like. So we see exactly what we expected to see. And you can see where it's, you know, it's high on this side and it's high in the front, because you can see the difference in the amount that we took, you know, just so we're going to establish that as our 0, and then luckily we can measure from the deck surface to this plate, because the plate is a gauge length, and that way we can ensure both deck surfaces are the same distance from the crankshaft center line. So we're going to keep whacking till we get her to clean up, and then we'll figure out what that dimension is, and then we'll just rinse and repeat the other side. Yeah, you can see it good. Yeah, I suspect probably, I don't know, it's probably going to take 12 or 13 thousandths to clean it up. But a lot of LS's, you know, even that are not this bad, just because of low spots, luckily, you know, at least this one was surface, so it's crooked, but it's flat. And but a lot of the factory ones, especially the iron ones, seem, it's crazy. The iron ones seem to be worse, but I see a lot of iron that's really low in between two cylinders. I see that pretty regular when we deck them. But I think that's 6, yeah. Yeah, that's about 6 thousandths so far, calling the front 0. So, you know, at the back we've only took off about 3, because there was 3 difference. Yep, so that cleaned up the whole thing. Yep. So we're gonna make a finish pass. We'll probably go to 11 thousandths total on the indicator, and we'll make a finish pass on this side, and then we'll measure our deck height, and then we'll roll over and set up on the other side and see how bad it is. So put some lube on here. Alright, so that's one side down. We will get the machine cleaned up and get it rolled over, and then we'll indicate in the fixture, and then we'll indicate in the deck just like we did on this one to see how bad it's off, see if it's the same. But we'll bring you back once we get it rolled over and get started. Alright, so we got it, let me cut the hydraulics off. So we got it indicated in, rollover indicated in, and I mean we're within a couple of tenths in 6 inches. So we're gonna move it over onto the deck and we'll see how bad this side is. Yep, and as we expected, this side is identical to the other side. So therefore, therefore, the whole block, when they decked it, both sides were rotated down. So, you know, relatively to each other, they were 45 degrees or 90 total. But when it was surfaced, this side was tilted downhill, and then when they rolled it over to this side, it was also tilted downhill. So this is a good example of where, you know, a secondary, like this system, a secondary form of measuring, because if you just go off of what's there, you don't know if you're 90 degrees to each other or you know, parallel to the cam crank center line. And a lot of stuff ain't the end of the world if it's not, but this kind of stuff, you know, we trying to make it the best that we possibly can. So we got it indicated in. I'm gonna check it front to back and see if it's the same like the other side, 3,000. So I'm gonna zero it here, and then we'll sweep it front to back and just see if it's the same error. So this side is actually worse. This side is 4.5 thousandths. So this side was 3 high in the front, and this side's 4.5 high in the front. So again, you know, in 24 inches, I mean, it's not massive, but it's still not right. So we're gonna bring it in, and we'll just do the same thing on this side. Probably be, you know, fast speed. We're not gonna make you sit through 20 minutes of decking. But let me get it set up, we'll blue it, and then we'll get started. Yep, so it looks exactly like the other side. Yep, and you can sort of tell because it touched up here pretty good, but nothing back here. You can see that extra 1/1000 from bank to bank, you know, made a difference on visually. Now this side here is a little worse than the other side. Yep, so we got, I think you can see it. So we got this much that didn't clean up, and it's about that wide. So we got another thousandths to go to get there. So we're gonna take our final pass. I think it's gonna come in. If not, we might have just a little shadow up here, and then we'll measure the deck heights and make sure that they're on it. That's gonna be the last pass. so we finished that last pass, and it cleaned up nice, just in spec. So we were able to get both sides square with one another, and it did clean this corner up. I was scared it wasn't going to clean this corner up all the way, but it did. All right, so that's $628. So let me check this side. So that's 627. So they're the same height within a thousandths, but we're 17 thousandths. The deck is down 17 thousandths from the factory nominal dimension, which is, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but depending on piston protrusion, we may have to run a slightly thicker head gasket or something. But again, it's not a major deal. We're gonna bring it up level, and we're gonna deck this top because it's got some nicks and junk in it from where they've beat it up. But we'll get that done, and then that'll be the end of this episode. And then I think the next thing we're gonna do is we'll either hone it, depending on when the pistons get here. We'll either hone it, or we may work on the heads, one or the other, whichever happens first. But that'll be the next episode. But let's get set up and whack this right quick, and then that'll finish up all the surfacing. Yep. So just like the decks, the valley cover. So we zero over here, and we are about 6-ish on that side. So this isn't nearly as bad as the decks were, but it's still off compared to our plate. Let me move it over and we'll sweep our fixture. So you can see we got our fixtures square. Yep. So like I said, the valley's not nearly as bad, and front to back it was really good. So I'm not sure that they messed with this surface, possibly, but I think it was front to back, it was like 2.5 or 3. So we're just gonna skim it right quick, and then we'll be done with this process. That should get it right there, I hope. We're gonna take one more pass. front. If it gets that back corner, we'll be in business. Done. Still got just a little bit right there. Gonna take one more pass. Oh yeah, so we got it that time. So that will conclude all of the block squaring up and correcting. So I think hopefully the next episode will be the honing, and then we'll balance it, and that'll be an episode, and then we can start getting this bottom end put together. But that's how it is. So we got it all done. It was worse than I thought it would be, but it's fixed and it's gonna live. So till next time, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Have a great day.